right, I teased the fact that
Wolchuk was an idiot. Is that what you
Wolchuk was an
teased?
idiot, maybe?
I don't think that's even a tease. I think that's just real.
Well, Zach sent me his 53-man roster projection.
Yeah, just donging around pre-show, trying to put this thing together.
Idiot. Do you feel like
That was the tease.
Did you feel like it was? You feel like it's good?
Yeah. I mean, like as of today, where we stand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You like your guys?
I left some players. Like I'm trying to think of like what could be surprise cuts here. So there were a couple of guys that I left off, thinking like maybe that's a surprise cut. And it gets tough. Like the cornerback one is difficult because C.J. Goodwin kind of ruins things a little bit because it's like he isn't even going to play corner, but he's probably going to be on the team for special teams reasons.
Sure.
And then Holden, I didn't have in the receivers. I think that he's going to be on the practice squad. So there was some stuff that was tough in here. We can talk about it.
All right, then we'll go with the quarterbacks. You've got Dak, Milton, and Greer.
Yeah.
Don't think there's any surprises there. Running backs, you got Williams, Maffa, Blue, Lipke.
No Miles Sanders.
No Sanders, huh?
Nope. No Miles.
What if I told you that Maffa might not make this team?
I'd be upset.
Would he make it to the practice squad, you think?
I think there's a possibility there, but I was talking to some folks.
That would suck if he got scooped.
Yeah, and I think he's looked like your best runner in preseason because we haven't gotten to see Javonte Williams.
Do you kind of feel like, though, that he went through you went through the draft, undrafted, and people miss, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say, but do you kind of feel like that people have their evaluation of what he is and that maybe you could get him through?
Well, they took him in the 7th, I'm assuming, because they thought that somebody else might scoop him. So
I think they didn't want to fight for him on free agency, but I understand what you're saying.
So I'm like, if you had that fear initially, would you not have the same fear about the practice squad with him? I think and the way that he's played special teams, I think Moff has earned a spot. They probably don't give a damn what I think. So maybe Moff is on the street, but I think Phil Moff has earned a spot on the roster.
Let me ask you this real quick. I heard that he was only a 7th rounder because the running back position was so thick.
Absolutely.
In this draft.
But he was also hurt too.
He played with a labrum in the shoulder.
Yeah, bad
which
shoulder
honestly,
too,
watching him play, that made him stand out even more to me. I was like, this dude's still running tough, and he's got a bum shoulder out here. Yeah. Like I think I'm a fan of Phil Maffa.
Wide receivers, he's got Lamb, Pickens, Turpin, Brooks, Flournoy. You got Mingo going to IR and Tolbert on a trade.
Yeah, I'm looking to trade Jalen Tolbert. And quite frankly,
if you can't trade him, is he going to be? You're going to okay.
What does Jalen Tolbert do that is better than Ryan Flournoy?
Oh, I mean, last year he proved he can execute against first teams.
Yeah, I think the comparison. What you need to think about is Flournoy he's a replacement for Mingo going on the IR, right?
Okay, what does Jalen Tolbert do that's better than Brooks?
Okay, then they're going to say that they get scoring plays out of Tolbert,
and Brooks can't. If given the opportunity,
of course. I mean,
that's the whole thing. I'm projecting ahead. I don't care what Tolbert did last year. I saw him disappear a lot in games too.
Sure,
I think these other guys, if they were given the opportunity, I believe in them to be able to step up and do the same thing.
I think the final roster spot's going to come down to Brooks or Holden, is who I think. But I also think Tolbert's going to make this team. So, but I kind of feel like Flournoy.
I think he is too. I think this is just me. But okay. I would be looking to trade Tolbert because I think he'd get you the most value of any of these guys. And I think I kind of like what they've got at receiver with some of these other dudes. And Brooks and Flournoy are good special teams players. I think they're better special teams players.
Flournoy's shown up. I watched him the other day. He shows up on special teams. Tight ends, you got Fergie, Spanford, Schoonmaker.
Yeah, and Schoonmaker's not.
Do you not feel great about that one?
I don't at all. Okay. But like Fairweather, I would argue to try and make this team, but I put him on the practice squad. I don't think they're going to move on from Scooney.
I don't think they are either. I talked to somebody the other day that's saying, I said, I'm thinking about moving on from Schoonmaker. He said, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, offensive linemen, 10 of them, Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Booker, Steele. Then you got Thomas, Hoffman, Adeniji, Bass, and Cornelius.
Mm-hmm. So I did not keep Awesome Richards. I think that's a surprise cut. I feel like he's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. And the fact that he's not getting competition at tackle, I've got other tackles. I don't think Richards is good at guard. And
I think he's better at tackle than he is at guard.
I agree. And they don't really want to play him there. So if you've got Thomas and I've got Adeniji as backup guards, I think that Awesome Richards could end up being one of the surprise cuts there, unless you want to move on from Bash because you think one of those guys can give you flex kicking inside, which I wonder, Nate Thomas, his body type to me, I kind of like to see him get some reps at guard. He might be able to be a violent player and move some people.
Might be. I think that, to me, I think that they're going to keep Awesome Richards. I'm just trying to figure out if it's Cornelius or Adeniji that they would move on
The
from.
Adenijis looked really good, and they just drafted a Johnny Cornelius, and I think he's played well.
Yeah, I think he was better in the Rams game than he was this last game.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, we're going to the defense real quick here. We got the defensive line. We got Nealon, Osa, Micah, Fowler, Thomas, Jay Toia, Winfrey, Houston, Ezeraku, and you have a King Basote making this team.
I went with the King Basote, and I did not have Sam Williams.
So your two surprise releases or trades or whatever is going to be Tolbert and Sam Williams, right?
Yeah. I went with, I think, what James Houston's shown you is more pass rush than Sam Williams. And Sam Williams' game has never been, I'm a good run stuffer. So if I got to choose between those two, I think I'm giving James Houston the edge right now over Sam Williams. And I was doing this based on surprises. Yeah. I also did not have Mozzie on the team. Yeah. Because I think Toia and Winfrey have both outplayed Mozzie
I would
Smith.
start Jay Toia. I would start him.
I agree. And I think King Basote's flashed a little bit. And I wonder, like, defensive tackles, hey, maybe you could get him on the practice squad. And I'm not going to push back there. Like, if they say, well, we're going to keep Sam Williams and we'll try and get a King Basote on the practice squad, that's fine. But I've been very underwhelmed with Sam Williams.
Yeah, King Basote, though, I would maybe shuffle him out for somebody maybe on another team. You know what I'm saying? If I saw defensive line. Linebackers, Leofau, Sanborn, Murray, James, Clark, Overshone on IR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think that's a pretty standard list right there. The cornerbacks, Elam, Bland, Childress, Mukwamu, Carson, and you said about Goodwin. So you got Diggs and Butler on IR.
Yes, and I did not end up keeping Pride Jr. or
Booth. Yeah.
Which was, one of them I think probably is still going to make it, but because Kalen Carson, if he's not ready to start the season, then you got to keep one of them.
Right.
But I still don't feel awesome about lining up with either of those guys in a meaningful football game. I like Troy Pride Jr. a little more than Booth.
If you could put Booth on, who would you take off?
Out of those corners?
Yeah.
Goodwin.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But if otherwise, we haven't seen anything from Kalen Carson. So I don't really know because Mukwamu can play both. He's got versatility, corner, and safety there. So I think he adds some value.
Okay. And then the safeties, Hooker, Wilson, Bell, and Thomas with Clark on the practice squad.
Yep.
I agree with you on that. And then you've got Aubrey, Anger, and Sieg. Those are your special teams. So those would be your 53.
Yeah.
Pretty good job right there. But you had just two surprises. It would be the Tolbert and Sam Williams getting released.
And
right?
Mozzie.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a surprise.
No, but I mean, I think just because he's got the first round pedigree,
exactly.
It would be a little bit.
Exactly. If you can't trade Tolbert, are you still cutting him?
I think I would move on. I've got multiple years of control from the other wide receivers, but
quite an endorsement of Flanoy.
Yeah, I like Ryan Flanoy. I think that kid's got upside.
I think Ryan Flanoy is a really good player too.
Right on.